can cut it. Excellent. Okay, so this is going to be our little sneak peek of the upgraded recovery session. So I'm putting together, I have done in the past something called the Yoga Regen, which was from, if you go to @YogaWorld, they have an entire sequencing designed specifically for yoga for athletes. Since now I'm doing more yoga specific therapy work, I've taken what I've learned from the courses over the years and put it together to create this yoga for curling specifically. Fantastic. So what we're going to go over today is just a couple of pieces outlining what recovery is to me. Really, really, really simple. So essentially, when we're doing activities, okay, we can either upregulate the nervous system or downregulate the nervous system. So I like to imagine that we've got this dial, if you think of a volume dial, okay? And when I'm going to go do an activity, okay, let's say I want to go to sleep. I want to downregulate the nervous system so that I'm going to turn down all the systems so I can go to sleep and rest and relax. I want my mind to turn down, my muscles, my nervous system, my digestive system, etc. Okay? So when I want to go curling, for example, I need to upregulate the nervous system. Okay, so I'm going to upregulate, I'm going to turn up the dial. Now, in a perfect world, when we're competing, we're actually finding a nice even balance between that down-regulated nervous system and that up-regulated. Because we don't want to be too fired up. We also don't want to be too sleepy. We want to be nice, calm, and focused and in the zone. So that's one of the reasons why recovery is and these sequences are so important, is that they can actually help you access that outside of these sequences. So you could use this sequence if you're feeling a little too fired up to stimulate recovery, okay? Or you could use these sequences or some of the strategies that I provide in the sequences to help you when you're doing other things, okay? So you can use the breathing, you can use some of the stretching, you can use some of the examples provided for food that help to stimulate recovery. Okay, so there's plenty of ways to down-regulate the nervous system, which is what we're trying to do when we do a cool down, okay? And but there's a bunch of things that we can do to help do that. So it comes to breathing, helps to down-regulate the nervous system. Stretching, okay? This is why stretching is important. It's not the be-all, end-all for flexibility and muscle soreness, but stretching helps to down-regulate the nervous system. So it has a place in our cool-down routine. What foods we eat can upregulate or downregulate our nervous system. Okay, so we can use food to our advantage when we're trying to stimulate recovery. Soft tissue work, okay, people like to do their foam rolling, that downregulates the nervous system. You can get a massage, right? You feel nice, calm, focused, relaxed after a massage. Okay, and of course, just your general rest. So what we're gonna do today is, and this is just a sneak peek, if you're signing in now, a sneak peek of what the yoga for curling recovery sessions are gonna look like. Okay, we're just going to do a couple of breathing exercises, a couple of mobility exercises, and you can repeat this after a tournament if you're feeling stiff. You can repeat this before bed if you can't fall asleep, and of course you can use some of the pieces. So we're actually going to start on our backs, and with your knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Okay, and if you feel any pain or discomfort during any of these activities, you probably won't. They're pretty low impact, but if you do, just take it easy, and you can send me a message to dive in a little deeper. So what I want you to do is reach your hands up over your head. Okay, so reaching for the sky. And what I want you to do is, if I can reach as far as I can, this is going to allow me to actually wrap my shoulder blades around my rib cage. Okay, so my shoulder blades are lifting off the ground. So I'm reaching to find space in the back, and I want you to take a breath way back into the mid-back, nice and silent through the nose. Reach the fingertips up. Now keep reaching up as you exhale out the mouth like you're blowing up a balloon. And while we do that, we're trying to flatten the low back down and bring the front ribs down and in, so your abs will turn on. So both inhales and exhales, we're reaching. And exhaling, we're reaching. So find that space in the mid-back. Let your shoulder blades wrap. If you feel like you can't get space, bend the elbows and turn the palms up to the ceiling. So I'm going to point my elbows out this time. Take a breath in. And exhale, turn the abs on. One more time. And exhale. Good. Now, keeping the low back flat and relax your shoulders, hug the knees in towards your chest. You can grab the shins, You can grab the backs of the legs. Maybe whatever feels right. Give yourself a little bit of a tail tuck. Maybe rock yourself from left to right. Okay, remember what I put on my own sheet. Oh, side windmills. Excellent. We're going to roll over onto our right side. Link lie down. Link, roll over onto your right side. Good boy. Tuck your knees in. Support your head like you're lying down like a model. Okay, and you're going to reach this right hand, this top hand, the left hand forward. Just like we did on our back, we're going to reach and separate. Okay, now trace it down by your hip. Flip the palm open. Reach behind you and look back at your hand. Now I want your knees to stay together. There should be a twist in your mid-back, stretch in the chest. Now reach your hand overhead, flip the palm down, and then reach forward again. Okay, down by the hip, open the palm, looking back, over your head, flipping a palm, reaching forward. Repeating that, opening up. Reversing that, opening up, looking back, reaching forward. One more time. Fantastic, good. Good, stretch through the shoulders there. Hug the knees in, roll over to the left. I'm gonna break dance. To the left side, yeah. Okay, tucking the tails in, and keeping our core tight. We're gonna reach that right hand forward. Really separate the shoulder blades. Palm down by your hip, open the hand, looking back. Palm faces down as it reaches over your head. Repeating that, opening up, keep the legs tight. And then reversing it over the head, opening up. We're letting gravity give us a stretch through the chest and through the thoracic spine. One more time. Fantastic, good. Rolling over onto your back one more time. Give yourself a little bit of a squeeze. So you can go back to your side and bring yourself to seated, or we're gonna roll our way up into seated. So I'm gonna tuck my knees in. So I'm gonna lift up my sit bones. Okay, keep my body close to my thighs, and I'm gonna roll, rocking back and forth. Keep the chin in, get a little massage, the back of the skull or back of the spine. Can I stall at the top, and then put my feet down onto the ground? Fantastic. Okay, from here we're gonna go through the 90-90, which we've done before. Okay. Feet are gonna go nice and wide. Okay, and if this is your femur bone, this big leg bone, imagine this inside the socket in your hip. Okay, we're gonna turn the leg bone in the hip, and where the femur bone goes, the knee and the ankle goes with it. Okay, so they go together. We're gonna lean back and actually tuck the tail under. So we don't have Kim Kardashian booty, we're gonna tuck the tail under. And then I want you to give your heels a little pull towards your bum. So now we've activated the muscles in the back of the legs here. So keeping that pull, I'm going to turn my right femur in and then turn my right knee femur out, keeping both butt cheeks on the ground. Okay, pulling in, opening the left femur bone. Now we're getting a stretch to the inside here, bringing the right femur bone in. Okay, there's a delayed windshield on this, in this position. So this is level one. If you're like, oh, I feel good, it feels good in the hip, I feel like I'm getting a little stretch, this is good for me, we stay here. Or we can flip ourselves right over, letting the right hip lift. We want 90 degrees at every single angle, which means you're gonna flex your toes. Okay, keep that tail tucked under, keep your ribs down. Okay, same thing, delay that windshield. We're gonna open up the right, let the left follow, and just readjust, make sure we're in that 90-90-90. Now, if there's pain here, we'll go back to the first version. Okay, so opening up with the delay, getting that pull of the heel. You'll notice you feel more stable when we bring the muscles in the back side of the body into the party. Okay, and then we're gonna see if we can do this without our hands. And again, if this one causes pain, you go back or variation. Okay, ending with the knees on the right. Tuck the left knee in, tuck the right heel in, and then bring yourself into a tabletop. Beautiful. So we're gonna go into a T-spine twist. So we just worked on the mobility of the hips. Okay, instead of sitting and hanging out in our delivery position, we just turned the femur bone in our hips. We're in a much better position here. And we did it from a place of strength versus just passively falling into the delivery. Okay, we're gonna go through our T-spine. So if you think of where your ribs are, okay, your ribs attached to your spine. This is called your thoracic spine right in the middle here. Okay, if you feel down, you'll notice that eventually there's no more ribs That's your lumbar spine. So when I say T-spine, I want rotation in the mid-back, not in the low back. Okay, so if I rotate from the T-spine, there should be no back pain. Now, a lot of people struggle with this. So we're gonna get into a tabletop position. You spread those fingers nice and wide, knees underneath your hips. Now again, we don't want to have that Kim Kardashian booty. Okay, we want to tuck the tail a little bit. So abs are on. I imagine I'm bringing my belt buckle up, my ribs down. Okay, keep that. We're gonna take my left hand to my ear and point the left elbow up. I'm gonna press down through the right hand and reach up to the left elbow. This rotation is in the thoracic spine, not the lumbar spine, the mid-back where the ribs attach. Okay, keeping my hips exactly where they are, I'm gonna point my elbow down towards my right wrist. And then I'm gonna point my elbow up towards the sky. Okay, one more time, left elbow, right wrist. Left elbow to the sky. Now we're gonna bring a stretch in. So if it feels right, you can straighten the left hand, reach the fingertips up. I'm really pushing down for the right hand. Now my left hand is gonna go underneath my right. I'm gonna twist so you can see. Okay, and it's gonna come down onto the ground. So left shoulder, left ear onto the ground, hips are up in the air. Right hand is gonna walk forward. I'm gonna use that hand to push, but I'm gonna resist with this left shoulder. So I'm almost wedging my body down, draw some vector lines on my body, and pushing with my hips, and I'm pressing with my hands. So now when I take a breath, put it into where a bra strap might go. Nice stretch in the mid-back. One more time. And exhale. Good, coming out of that. Right hand to the ground. Press yourself back to tabletop. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, which means we're gonna take my right hand to my ear. Make sure that that tail's tucked under. We've got our core turned on. Right elbow to the sky. Right elbow towards the left wrist. I don't care if it touches. Okay, breathe in and reach. Breathe out. Last one, breathe in. Okay, press down through the left hand and reach the right hand up. Okay, so I'm not sagging in the shoulder, I'm pressing down. Okay, right hand reaches up. And then taking that right hand under the right shoulder, right ear, right shoulder to the ground. Left hand reaches forward, again, wedging my hips, using my hips to wedge my shoulder into the ground. And using my left hand to push back, breathing into that left side body. Feel those ribs separate maybe as you breathe in. Good, take the left hand underneath your shoulder, push yourself back up to a tabletop. Okay, so. Ham side breath, okay. Yeah, okay, so let's go into a little bit of a lunge position. Bring ourselves into a lunge position, which means my right foot comes forward. Okay, if my hands are underneath my shoulders, my right foot's gonna be a little bit wider. Okay, and we're gonna start up in this lunge position. I want my hip stacked over my knee stacked over my heel. Okay, so I'm not gonna hang out like this, I'm gonna stay nice and stacked. Now, what I want you to do is tuck the tail under so that this butt cheek turns on. You feel it clenching. Maybe you already feel a hip flexor stretch. Okay? If you need more, if you can keep this positioning, you can shift the body forward. But we don't want to lose the back. We want to keep everything tucked. So get that nice isolated hip positioning. Reach the left hand forward like we did at the beginning. Separate the shoulder blade. Open to the side and reach up and over. Okay, good. Now imagine between your rib cage, you're taking a breath in. And the rib cage is separating on the side. And then we want to make sure we feel nice and stable. So exhale, press through your feet. Give that left butt cheek a squeeze again. Fantastic, good. Coming back into the middle. We're going to stretch out the hamstrings. Now this is important. The very middle of my hamstring is what we're trying to stretch, not the back of the knee. So you can walk that right foot forward. And I want you to use that right foot to push the hips back. And then I want you to use your fingertips to try to pull the chest forward. I'm gonna keep a little bend in my knee. And I want the stretch to be in the middle of the hamstrings. Turn the sit bones up. So right foot pushes the hips back, fingertips pull the chest forward, sit bones lift. That stretches in the middle of the hamstring. Okay, you'll notice if the knee was too straight, it goes right behind the knee. That's your sciatic nerve, that's not your hamstring. Then walk the hands forward, bring the right foot back. We're gonna bring the left foot forward, okay, to the outside. Bring the left hand to the left knee, and then stack the right shoulder, right hip, right knee over top of each other. Okay, we're starting first by tucking the tail. So bring the glutes, okay, tucking the tail under. We want those glutes strong. You'll notice there's a difference between creating a big arch in your low back here and tucking that tail under. I haven't shifted forward, and I already feel the stretch in that hip flexor. Okay, if I need more, we shift forward. We've got to keep that tail tucking underneath. Reach the right hand forward. Separate the shoulder blade, open to the right, and then reach up and over. Taking a nice breath in to the side ribs, and a nice breath out. And one more breath in, and breath out. All right, stacking the shoulders, stretching out that hamstring. We walk that left foot forward. We want to keep a nice bend in the knee. Left foot pushes the hips back. Fingertips pulls the chest forward. Sit bones up towards the ceiling. So the opposite of this positioning, it's this positioning. Okay, we want to do the opposite of what I just did. Looking for that stretch in the belly of the hammy. Your hamstrings are on the back of the leg. We want to feel right there in the back. So pulling with the fingers, pressing with the foot, sit bones lift. Take a breath in and a breath out. Beautiful. Okay, walking that hand forward. I'm going to come into a seated position just to finish off here. This is just a sample of the upgraded version of the yoga for curling recovery sessions. Okay, so we're going to do some breathing. We couple the breathing on either side of the recovery, of the stretches. Okay, plus a little bit of warm up. So it's up to you how you want to situate yourself. Seated, on your back, standing, it doesn't really matter. Find a position that works. Okay, find something to stare at. And then just see if you can bring your attention into your breath. So focusing on that one point, just noticing if the breath is fast, if it's loud, if it's slow, if it's quiet. I really want you to zoom your focus in on whatever that object is in front of you. Keep your face relaxed, keep your breathing relaxed. It's a very inquisitive zoom in. I want you to zoom in again on whatever that is, that speck of dirt, that rock, the door jamb. Notice everything in the outskirts actually gets a little fuzzy. And I want you to zoom out and look somewhere else. Okay, anywhere else other than that position, give your brain a little bit of a break. We're going to do that one more time. Find that same object, same point on the wall. Just starting broad, slowly zooming in. You can blink as many times as you need to. There's no end goal here. We're just trying to zoom in, kind of cut out the extra fluff that's happening in the background. That's great. Now zooming back out, blinking the eyes, maybe becoming more aware of the room around you. Good. This is built on the foundation of yoga, so there's always a piece of gratitude at the end. However you want to close that out for you, but personally, I like to take a moment and just be grateful for how my body's moved today. Whether it was a little, whether it was a lot, whether it was just breathing. Right? And then I want you to carry that on with the rest of your day. So for those that are watching, thinking, okay, maybe I'm interested in some form of yoga for curling, yoga for recovery sessions that are designed by a curler for a curler, You can send me a message. I've got a few things coming out in the fall. Both the in-season webinar series is going to be happening, and that's going to be an extra piece. So those recovery sessions are going to be an extra piece. Of course, if you're an EPVIP athlete during that, you're going to get access to those anyways. But then other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks for hopping in. I'm just gonna. And now, share. Please let me share. Thank goodness. Okay, perfect. Steve, do we need anything else today?
No, I'm good.
You're all good. You got your breathing. You got your focus exercises. Oops, I'm sorry.